Hey guys, it's Thomas here from Locklear Entertainment. After 6 long years, we finally have the follow-up to Halo 5 Guardians. The end of the Forerunner Cortana trilogy, Halo Infinite. I'll be discussing spoilers in this review. If you don't want to be spoiled, here's a quick, non-spoiler take on the story. Halo Infinite concludes the overarching story of Master Chief and the AI Cortana. It's a story about perseverance, loss, trauma, and most importantly, hope. Master Chief proves as long as you have breath in your body and the will to fight, there is always a chance to win. Always. Now for the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, check out now. We start the campaign in the heat of battle. The UNSC Infinity is under attack by the ever-growing faction called the Banished, the main antagonist for the Halo Wars 2 game. The Chief loses to their leader, Atriox, and he finds himself adrift in space for 6 long months. This is where we pick up with our new human pilot character, rescued by the pilot aboard a Pelican, out there for 6 months. Soon after, we get straight to the action again. Chief boards a Banished cruiser, and he destroys it before making his way to the surface of a new location for our game, Zeta Halo, which is where you first find your AI companion in the game, only known as the Weapon, but as you find out later in the game, it's really a copy of Cortana. And that's all I want to say about that. Honestly, the AI itself is just a breath of fresh air. Her enthusiasm, her positivity, her wonder at the world around her, seeing this giant Halo ring and its intricacies and what the Forerunners built. She's really what we feel when Master Chief isn't having none of that. He doesn't care. You've noticed in the game, and how he's been for the last 5, he's conditioned himself to where he only sees these things as destruction. Anything that's pretty much not human, the man sees as a threat, and that's hardcore. Yeah, the rest of the campaign's pretty straightforward. Your mission is to stop Escharum, the Banished leader at the time, and so you start going through his different, generals and such before you get to him. And then you get to the final boss, the Harbinger, who is trying to awaken these new enemies called the Endless. That's all we know. We don't really know nothing about them. So I guess that's going to be discussed in the next game or DLC or whatever they plan on doing. I do not know. The Harbinger herself wasn't really that tough. It was like her minions. Like I said, she's just a vessel to come in later games. But I have to admit, fighting the Harbinger was like fighting the Seraphim or the angelic being from the end of Doom Eternal. 1 for 1. They even kind of sound alike. Now, this open world aspect of the game is phenomenal. There's so much lore and hidden Easter eggs throughout the entire map, and I'm sure they're going to add more and bring on more content to it as we go along. I'm still not done exploring it myself, honestly. This game really hits home with Master Chief being human and learning how to accept that and learn he makes mistakes, because most of the Spartan 4s, if not all, are gone. Most of the UNSC on the ring is gone. A lot of stuff is gone. It's really just him, the AI that he doesn't trust, and the pilot who he just met. Really by himself in this one. And you can tell throughout the game when he loses the first Spartan he finds alive who dies in his hands. I would say the Master Chief is getting to the point where he doesn't himself really understand why he keeps fighting, and eventually he's going to stop or just sacrifice himself. Honestly, I think that's where the story could be heading in the next trilogy or whatever they plan on doing. He goes through it in this game. You can tell the loss of Cortana is really still hitting him hard. He's not whole at all. And a key thing Master Chief told the pilot in the argument they were having.
We all fail. We all make mistakes. It's what makes us human.
I'm sorry, Chief, but how have you ever failed?
I should have protected Cortana. Stopped everything from going wrong. I failed her. I will not fail you.
It's pretty big stuff. But all in all, I guess it's not even really spoilers. I'm just telling you the main plot points and things I liked. I like the story, obviously. It's a very intriguing story. I mostly like the character development. The character development between Master Chief and the weapon, top tier stuff for this Halo game. I mean, Jesus. I'm so glad they moved away from a lot of that stuff they was trying to do in Halo 5 Guardians. Because a lot of that stuff, I certainly hated. And it's not saturated with a bunch of characters. Yeah, it feels like the Lord of the Rings game met Doom Eternal. It was Shadow of Mordor meets Doom Eternal. Does that make any sense? Like I said, I will not sit here and go through every plot point in detail about the game. Go out and buy it yourself. If you have the multiplayer and you're loving the multiplayer, just go ahead and buy the campaign. It's worth literally every cent, honestly. I haven't really been buying games lately. I bought this. Love it. Love it, love it. Halo Infinite is available on Xbox and Microsoft Windows like Steam or the Xbox Store. If you have Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, you can get it for free along with the multiplayer. Now, for those who's been doing this since 2001, since Combat Evolved, like me, hop in, get the game, get the campaign, and finish the fight, Spartan. This is Thomas from Locklear Entertainment. See you guys in the next one. Bye.